watching movies and jamming out. K-Flix 198.4 Fiction Radio.
Welcome back to K-Flix Fiction Radio, and this week is super special. I mean, I know we're talking about a Cameron Crowe classic, but also my good buddy Jacob Givens is our in-studio guest today.
Yay!
And we're talking about singles.
Yes, welcome, Jacob. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, this film, this monumental 90s classic.
Oh man, I am so thrilled to have you in studio talking about this movie, buddy.
Thank you, Shawn, my dear friend who I love going to see live music with quite frequently. You know, we get out and see some rock and roll. So this is a fitting episode for me to jump on for more than one reason. So
that's true. We have gone to see quite a few live shows out here, and it is always an absolute blast.
Always.
Jacob, are you a dad jam band?
Yeah.
As well.
He came with me to the first show.
The first one. Sean messaged me and told me, and he was like, you got to come to this thing. And I was like, say less. I'm there immediately.
Yeah, I sent him a text and I was like, dude, we can see Weird Al in a backyard for $20. We got to go.
That sounds magical. Those first shows that you went to were really like a secret thing still.
Yeah, it was pretty special. They're always great, but...
Yeah, they're always great. But that was, I do feel like, I always have fun at them. But that first one, I felt like, we're the only people who know that this is happening. All the people here in the yard. And I was like, I've never felt more like in the know, like more indie underground. Like people know about cool bands. I'm like, yeah, but I was at like a pretty early middle-aged Dead Jam Band show. That was one away from being in their neighborhood and seeing them play in their garage, which is where they started, and people would see all the time, in our neighborhood. So
God, that would have been so crazy to stumble upon. Like,
so
just
crazy.
Out for a stroll. Is that Ken Marino?
David Wayne? What's going on? So cool.
Was that a COVID thing when they started it?
It did start from COVID. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They were just screwing around. I don't think they had any intention when this all began to let's take it somewhere. But it kept growing, right? Shawn knows better than me, but it kept growing. Neighbors kept joining. They would invite more and more people over. And then once I think they played those first two shows, raised money because they were all like charity, benefit type things. And then they realized they're like, we should take this further. We should keep going with this, So
and now they tour. They go on little mini tours.
Amazing.
It's pretty great. Yeah. I think I've seen them like 8 times now.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Dustin, you'll have to join us at one for sure.
One of these days, yes. I will get out there and join you.
Jacob, I don't know if you remember, but the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, I sent you a text message. It said something along the lines of, hey, I think I should be a guest on your podcast, Waterproof Records, because it's an awesome music podcast that you have.
Thank you.
I think I should be a guest on your podcast, and we can talk about our favorite fictional bands. I think that would be a fun episode to do for your show. And then I let it sit for a couple of weeks, and I was like, I think I'm just going to make that my podcast.
And I think it's brilliant.
So without you having your podcast, I never would have thought about this podcast. So thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I remember that text. I was like, that's actually a very funny idea. I was like, as soon as you said it to me, I was like, that's a brilliant idea. And had, timing lined up, you probably would have come on and we would have done it. But the fact that you just were like, you know what, there's a whole thing in here. And I love that you guys created this show. I think it's amazing. I'm so glad you did.
Thanks, man. I genuinely mean thank you. It wouldn't have happened if you didn't have your podcast. So thank you.
Yay. Awesome.
There it is, the K-Flix backstory.
I'm the origin story.
Yeah.
One addendum, and then you told me about the idea.
Yes.
I also said, that's a great idea, but I took it a step further and made you make me part of it.
Yeah. You were like, okay, now, but how can I get involved with this idea?
Yeah, this is a great idea, Shawn. What would make it better? Me.
And he was right.
And he was correct.
How can I make this work in my life? too. Right. No, it's been a great ride, and I'm so glad we're full circle and we're here with the Genesis team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got the trifecta working right now.
I love it. Fantastic.
Oh man. But we are here to talk about singles after all. And Jacob, this is one of your favorite movies, right?
This is a iconic film for me just in my life. It's funny because saying favorite movie, it belongs more as it's important of like a mark in music life-changing moments for me, but it's not the film itself isn't something that I really hang my hat on as like a movie that I would want to watch over and over and over again. It is a wonderful Cameron Crowe coming of age, story about these people living in Seattle, and it really takes a perfect snapshot of Seattle during that time. So I love what the film is, but it's really the soundtrack and the connection to the people that are in it that make it so special. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah.
That I would say that describes my relationship with Velvet Goldmine at this point, which we I had not seen before we covered it on the show.
Yeah.
If I went around telling people that's my favorite movie, I might get weird looks, but like I totally get it. It's important. The soundtrack's important. And this is another one, I mean, like that movie where the director got to do what they wanted.
Right.
Because this is early in Cameron Crowe's career, and he's just making the rules. He's like, they're gonna address the camera directly, and it's gonna be weird, and you're gonna like it, and it's gonna be the beginning of the '90s feel of cinema.
It does. And anytime I've ever made a video about singles, soundtrack, or anything related to this at all, the comments, the majority of the time will go, fantastic soundtrack, okay movie, or meh movie, because I think that we've elevated it because of the soundtrack. So it got a lot more attention. I actually think that if you take the soundtrack off of the film and what it was representing, it's a fine movie. I think it gets shit because one is a lot stronger than the other. You know what I mean? Like the movie on its own, with just like a cool score and some indie artists on it or whatever, I think people would be like, oh, it's a very charming Cameron Crowe film. But you have literally an entire movement of music that is credited, and then you have a film. And it's just like the teeter-totter is not quite on the same playing field,
100%. Yeah.
That's totally true. I did enjoy the movie still.
Oh, it's great.
I wouldn't put it on my upper echelon of Cameron Crowe films. No. But I still enjoyed it. There were a lot of funny little bits in there. Again, because we are all men of a certain age who remember that time, who remember a world where answering machines existed, and them eating the tapes and things of that nature. Like that's still stuff that's relatable for us, even though we were kids when that was sort of going on.
Totally. I was very young when I saw this in the theater. I think I want to say 7th grade, somewhere around there. And I actually went with a girl that I liked, and I'll never forget this film because I was a chicken shit teenager. Like I liked this girl named Sandra. I said, did she want to go to see Singles with me? And we went and sat in the theater, and the whole movie, I'm like, should I hold her hand or not? That literally was like my thought the entire time. and I think somewhere near like the last 20 minutes, I think I finally made contact and held her hand. And it was such like oh my God, for me. And I think that Sandra was thinking like, we're gonna kiss, or it's gonna we should be holding hands on the way into the fucking movie. Like, what is your deal? And I think I just blew it so hard on that. But I remember this film being so, pregnancy scares.
Oh yeah.
And all the stuff that these guys are dealing with, I'm like, not even close to this heavy life shit. Not even close. And I'm sitting there worried about holding Sandra's hand.
Oh, man. That's so good. Did you go see another movie with Sandra?
No. So the funny thing is I came on too strong on a phone call afterwards. That was classic Jacob. This was my MO, guys. I like threw way too much at girls that I liked, like too much, like too fast. And so they would get scared off really fast. And so
too many poems.
Yeah, definitely. Just like that guy who it followed me around so much. Once I would finally lock in a girlfriend, I would be good for a little while. But once I was back on the market again, I remember this girl in college said to me, she goes, "We all know about Jacob. It's like 200% or nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's just all in. All so I think that was the moment where I was like, maybe I just need to chill out. But Sandra had a good time on the date with me, which was like we're talking about like parents dropped you off at the movie theater kind of date, right? Sure. This isn't we're in seventh grade. And then I think shortly after that I called her and I think I said something way too affectionate, and then she was like, boom, she was out. And then I think by the time I was way in high school, I saw Sandra like at a concert, and she was like, "I really think I blew it with you back then." And I was like, validation.
Oh, there it is, man.
Validation.
Yeah. It all comes back around, man.
It all comes back around.
Yeah.
She missed her chance at singles. This is so tangential. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, this is perfect. This is unlike any other K-Flix episode before. We have a normal person on the show, Dustin.
In quotations. Normal.
Real name.
Yeah. Real name, in studio, not crazy. Although Eric was pretty subdued, but you know.
Yeah.
Still a different playing field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love that, man. I did not see this movie in the movie theater. The first time that I saw it was in preparation for this show.
You're kidding me. This was your first viewing of Singles.
First viewing.
Oh, wow.
Same here a few hours ago. Yes.
Oh, today even.
Today. Yeah.
You guys are it has to do a little bit with the age difference, I think, too, because you guys are a couple years younger than I am, right? Like you would have been a little, that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah. When this movie came out, I mean, Jurassic Park might have been one of the first movies I saw in a movie theater.
Okay.
Full on kids movie, at least.
So my first Singles viewers, what was your experience once the credits rolled? What was your like takeaway from that journey?
My first two thoughts were, how did they afford all that music? And how were so many people in that fucking movie?
Right.
The cast list just kept going. The Paul Giamatti fucking cameo blew my mind.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's the most subtle I've ever seen him. By the way.
Yes.
That is must be so early in his career. Really doesn't have any Giamatti-isms.
He has one
or
word.
Anything.
He says what?
Yeah.
This is before Private Parts even, which is like the first time where I remember like seeing him in something and being like, who's that guy? Give me more of that guy. He was really funny.
Yeah, it's got a lot of people in it. And the story behind the film, really Cameron Crowe spends like 2 years living in Seattle and going out to nightclubs with Nancy Wilson. And they're it's his girlfriend, and they're going around to all the bands and clubs, and he's getting to know them all. So the wild thing is that he was making this film before the grunge explosion. This soundtrack comes out in 1992, and everybody at the time is accusing Cameron Crowe of riding the coattails of a music explosion. And you're going, no, he was ahead of it. He was like a year and a half ahead of the explosion. And the only reason you get all these people in this film is because they're all hanging out with Cameron Crowe, and they're like, this sounds like fun.
Yeah. My understanding was there was even like he wanted to work on it sooner, but the studio was sort of dragging their feet, and it didn't get, and then grunge happened, and they happily released it and capitalized on it. But like this thing was developing, like you said, for years.
And he had his finger on the pulse, and he's telling everybody, he's like, you got to see this music scene that's happening up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's amazing. And all these film executives are like, nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like he's like, no, I think they will care. And he was right. But it had to go first. And then they're like, oh, I guess he was right, but it was later than it should have been. If he had released that, think about if he had released that film before Smells Like Teen Spirit dropped. I mean, I think he would have been credited probably for creating the grunge movement,
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy how close he was to just being like, no, this is the introduction point.
Yeah, this is the starting point. And he
down to like even getting Smashing Pumpkins on there, who they're not from the Seattle scene, but he called that one too. From
Chicago. That is such a cool move. You know what I mean? He really was. And that soundtrack weaves things that are accessible and things that are not.
Yeah.
And I think that's really a testament to he always is so good with music. Cameron Crowe's a music lover. So he gets mixtape ethos. He knows what that is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a journey. You're supposed to go somewhere. You're supposed to be surprised. And he really does it so perfectly. And I know this might even be stuff you have to cover on the show, but he wanted Chris Cornell to play Matt Dillon's part.
Yeah, he did.
And that was the original plan, is that Chris Cornell was going to be playing the Chris Pontius role. And then it was just like with Soundgarden and touring and schedules, like, not going to happen, you know. But I mean, can you, I just can't imagine now what that film would have been like with Chris Cornell as the lead and the soundtrack dropping super early. So it's pretty wild.
I think it would have had a different legacy for sure, but you would have lost a little bit on the acting side, because Matt Dillon is so fucking good in this. Like he's so charming. He's so funny. And
he's amazing.
And he just plays that like aloof kind of rocker so well in this.
He is absolutely spot on. And actually it was fate, because Cornell, while that was probably a fun idea, I don't think he could carry a film. You know, he's a great vocalist, but sure. I wouldn't have seen him have that comedic timing, because he does it perfectly. He plays a clueless, douchey frontman perfectly, because I actually believe it. It's not a caricature. It feels like a guy who's really full of himself and doesn't quite, you know, understand why he's not more popular. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So he was spot on.
It takes a good actor to sit outside that and see that. That intro, just that intro shot of him on Jimi Hendrix's grave. I don't know if that's actually Jimi Hendrix's grave they used, but
yeah,
so
I might be.
Really set the tone for like, oh, okay, I get it, because I didn't know going in what this was going to be. I knew it was kind of a grunge movie, you know, whatever that means.
Yeah,
I didn't know how seriously it was going to take itself, and it really hit the mark perfectly. And the Paul Westerberg stuff, the score bits, I don't know what the story is. I mean, the Replacements like had just broken up.
Yes,
so I think
he was very raw,
open to new stuff, and
totally.
Crowe said, "Come play your songs under my movie," and it was a great choice to like make everything coalesce.
It's interesting because when I saw the film, it actually didn't feel like anything other than a love story. A story about romance, love, and lost. And you're just like, oh, it's set against this backdrop of going to see live music, going to go see live bands. This guy's trying to get his band off the ground. But that grows in the movie itself over time, because these aren't just flash in the pan. These are legendary icons, gone, dead. And so you look at it now and it has so much different feeling, because you're like, oh, it's an essential. Whereas if it had been made about, if it made about new metal and it was just like Korn and Fred Durst and shit like that, like it would have. I don't think it would have the legacy. No offense to those guys,
now,
but it just
let's check in 10 years.
Yeah, right.
When we're the same distance from new metal.
Limp Bizkit's on the come up again. They're
true.
They're
the kids
big in
love it.
festivals now.
They do, and I would love to see a Cameron Crowe film where it cuts to a scene with Jonathan Davis just going boom. Just a romantic scene with a little corn in the background.
Oh yeah, just like violent scatting.
Yeah, it was violent scatting. I hope that's what some record exec said when they were recording that scene. It's like, get back in there and do more of that violent scatting that you're doing. Boom. I can violent scat. That term scatting. I'm so glad we're talking about the vocal scatting and not the other kind, because that violent scatting, holy hell.
Oh, that's so funny.
So, what else do we discuss about the film itself?
So, just on the topic of Chris Cornell, there are some pretty interesting facts that I came across involving him and this movie. So I just want to tackle that for the listeners who may not know about the things that I read.
Yeah.
First off, did either of you two get the privilege of seeing Chris Cornell live before he passed away?
Unfortunately, no.
Negatory for me as well.
I was lucky enough to see him in 2007 at the Pageant in St. Louis.
Amazing.
a friend of mine won tickets off of a radio station, and we were also part of 50 people that got to see an acoustic warm-up.
Wow.
Before the show started.
Was this was solo years?
This was solo Chris Cornell, and
Okay.
I did find a set list for this show on setlist.fm. I'm going to text it to both of you so that way you can take a look at it just to see
Yeah, I'd love to.
the crazy span that he covered for this show, for his catalog.
I can't imagine. I'm so envious. I wish I had a chance to see him because he is definitely one of those people where I didn't think it was going to suddenly not be available. You know what I mean? Like you kind of assume like, I missed him. I'll catch him the next time around,
Sure.
That happens all the time. I had that thought about Tom Petty. He wrapped up the tour here in LA, and I was like, oh man, I just missed it. And then he was gone a couple of days later.
Totally.
I would say that's the typical concert experience. Only in the case of Chuck Berry have I been fairly certain he was going to die soon when I saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because rock and roll stars that are kind of, not in bad shape and seem like they're doing okay. And, even guys like Bowie, I didn't think we were going to lose Bowie as fast as we did, or Prince. And these are artists that I probably now will, and I have in the past several years, now I don't make excuses. Now I just try as hard as I can to see people when they come through,
Yeah, for sure. But this set list that I saw,
Yes.
it opens with a particular song, that song being Spoon Man.
Yes. A Soundgarden classic.
And Spoon Man has a direct link to this film.
I know this story.
Oh, great.
I know it. I know it. You can tell it. I know the story well.
Well, I think rather than me tell it, we listened to Cameron Crowe and Chris Cornell tell the story.
There you
because
go.
I have audio of them talking about the genesis of
so
Spoon
great.
Man and how the Pearl Jam bassist Jeff Ament was a part of this with his art and all of these things. So let's listen to Cameron and Chris.
They listed 5 song titles of a fictional, work that Cliff Pontier, in his sad separation from his band, had come up with. And Chris Cornell saw one of the cassettes, empty cassette boxes, and had an idea.
Well, Jeff had done some graphic design for the film set, and one of the ideas was, it was sort of a take, I think, on what Andy Wood did. He did it when we were living together. He did a bunch of 4-track kind of. They weren't really demos. They were just sort of him having fun writing songs. We both did it, and we would share them back and forth. And he made, kind of like a solo album out of it, where he just dubbed his own cassettes, and it was just mixes off of a cassette 4-track, and he put it inside Fallout Records, which is that was the indie record store in the neighborhood. And I think Cameron was inspired by that to have his main character in the film do the same thing. The cassette packaging that Jeff did was just kind of identical to what everyone else was doing. It was like a Kinko's copies Xerox, on colored paper with the silhouette of the character and some song titles on it. So it said Pontier on the front, and then there were song titles and Jeff just made up the titles. And one of those titles was Spoon Man. One of those titles was Seasons. There was one called Flutter Girl. They were all really inspiring to me. And I remember seeing it and thinking, having this idea that clicked in my head of, wouldn't it be great to take that home and actually write those songs based on those titles and, on a 4-track the way that it's supposed to be, and then mix them down, put them in the cassette, and have somebody sort of direct camera to discover it on the set. So I did that, and I spent, a couple hours on each song. It wasn't long. I kind of rushed through it. It was really a fun experience because I learned that, writing songs just for the fun of it, for no particular destination, can create songs that have a life that lives on and on and on.
How fucking crazy is that?
Brilliant. He did it just, when you see the cassette tape and you see it's just set decoration. That's all it is. It's just a piece to look. Jeff Ament has written fake song titles. They're just pop into his head on this Pontier, and the fact that he decided to go do that. And if I remember the story correctly too, they surprised Cameron with it. Like it was the way they reveal it to him. It was a surprise that they planned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And an early version of Spoon Man that he did is in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's all it is. But yeah, you get a little sample of it right there.
You know what someone's coming up. It's going to be a big hit. And the other crazy thing about Cornell is he was never very good at tuning his guitar in the early days. I mean, over time, he figured it all out. But when he was really young in early days at Soundgarden, he wasn't a guitar player. So when he would write songs, he didn't quite know the correct tunings a lot of the time. So he would just tune whatever he thought sounded cool. And so that's why like songs like Seasons and whatnot, these are very unusual tunings because it's just whatever he was making up on the spot. So I love even more that what you're hearing is just at the creation of Cornell's mind. And that's just brilliant.
I know people like that, and they are frustrating to watch as someone who wants to like make music when they just sort of turn knobs and they go, oh, it sounds good though, and they make something beautiful. You
I'm sure Kim Thiel in Soundgarden was like, you son of a bitch. You know, he probably like brought in his tape. He was like, son of a, you know, and then there it is. Spoon Man, massive Soundgarden song.
And then also just a little bit more history about the song Spoon Man. The name Spoon Man comes from a Seattle musician, artist, the Spoon Man.
Oh, is this like a local character kind of thing?
He's also featured on the recording of the song doing the spoons.
You're hearing him do this. So on the streets of Seattle, he would perform on the streets. He was a guy who had spoons and he would do percussion on his body with the spoons. So he earned the name Spoon Man. So when they record that on the album, they bring him in and have him do his spoon performance on the thing. And then when the video ran on MTV, they got the real Spoon Man to do the music video as well. So it was a thing back then when that video debuted on MTV. It was like we were all like, "Who's this guy? Oh, it's the Spoon Man from Seattle."
Yeah,
like Shawn, if a band from St. Louis had made it big and suddenly everyone knew who Beetle Bob was.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Beetle Bob. I don't even want to fucking.
Now I gotta know. Does Beetle Bob play with Beatles?
Beetle Bob was this guy who had a Beatles haircut, like a mop top, and he wore a 3-piece suit, and he would just go to concerts every single night. And touring bands loved him because he was Beetle Bob. He would come hang out near the stage, on the stage. He would do this like crazy, like almost skanking style dancing, no matter what the music was.
Really?
Local opinion of him was more mixed. It's been said that he stole things from people and, sort of some stray punches and kicks from his weird dancing may have struck some people over the years, but touring bands loved him.
Is he still alive? Do we know?
He is no longer with us as of the last couple years. Sadly.
Wow. R.I.P. Beetle
Bob.
Beetle Bob.
He lives on in this K-Flix episode, I guess.
Yeah, he does.
I did have possibly an interesting observation about a particular scene in the movie. Just wanted to throw it out there and see if it registers with either of you gentlemen.
Okay.
But the scene where Steve Dune gets told no about the super train, and then he builds the train in his apartment, and he's become reclusive and super depressed and all of that stuff. It really struck a nerve in my mind, and for the first time I thought, oh, is that Parks and Rec storyline where Ben White gets really depressed, sort of like a tribute to Singles? Because he's also obsessed with early 90s culture.
Oh,
that is a really good and probably spot on reference that I never would have put together.
Right?
Yeah. They put Adam Scott in the Letters to Cleo shirts.
He's wearing that in that scene. He's wearing a Letters to Cleo shirt in that scene.
That's totally what this is. That's totally what that is. That's so funny. I don't think I'd ever put that together again.
I believe that's just Adam Scott shining through too. I think that's his personality.
Yeah, that's very true.
Based on what I've gleaned of his like musical taste and stuff. I did want to note real quick because you brought it up. The super train. Seattle did install a light rail system in 2013. I've ridden it. It's delightful.
Oh.
It gets you all the way north and south through the city.
Oh, you're kidding. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I do like how ahead of the curve that thought was for American culture.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still pretty far ahead in many places.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But yeah, it's also a great plot point for someone to like get stuck on as a grandiose idea that'll sort of never play out, at least in the way they wanted to.
Yeah, totally.
That's great observation.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the validation there, guys. Right when that scene, like, when he was trying to repair the train, when Bridget Fonda's character comes in to like be like, "Hey, are you okay?" I was like, "This is so Ben Wyatt."
Yeah.
It's so Ben Wyatt.
It is so Ben Wyatt. Absolutely.
Totally. Yeah. It's also a little, I mean, do you guys want to get into just the greater way in which this lives on in our pop culture?
Great, sure.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
I don't know if you guys read this, but it's purported that Singles serves as a pretty big basis for the show Friends.
I did read that.
Okay.
That checks out.
I mean, it's to the extent that, like, Cameron Crowe was approached to do a TV version of Singles. He said no. They went on and made something anyway. It's one of those things where there aren't like the direct ties, but like the timing all lines up to where basically like some studio exec got it in their head, like, we're gonna make Singles the TV show, whether they want us to or not, and it morphed its way into Friends.
Yeah, that I did not know that until I just looked up a few things about the movie not too long ago, and I saw that, and I thought, well, it tracks, because if they're gonna turn and somebody probably wrote like a spec, or they had like a basic idea, pitched it to him, and he was like, I'm not doing this, but they were looking at it and they were going, hey, a bunch of 20-somethings that are struggling to get jobs figured out, their love lives. There's, somebody
live
neighbors
in the same building.
They all live in the same building together. Yeah, it's like it really has those roots. And you can see how they were like, well, we can't call it Singles. You know what I mean? So what do we call it?
What's one word away from that? Yeah, right.
Yeah. What else are they? Acquaintances, pals, buddies, friends,
building tenants. No,
Yes.
it's too long. It's too long.
Okay, well, how about just tenants?
Tenants.
Not Singles, they're living single. Oh shit, wait.
Yeah, no, God damn it, that one already exists.
Oh, damn it.
Funny way, this stuff trickles through culture.
Totally.
It's always the way though. Something gets big and then every studio wants to do that thing.
Did you guys ever get into that show, the British one, Coupling?
No, I never got into that.
It was hilarious, but what it was, this was a full circle thing about Friends, not to tangent off too much, but so Friends was a hit. So then England wanted to make something that was a Friends equivalent, and they created the show called Coupling, which was a little bit more rude. And it was great. It was wonderful British comedy. And then America tried to make their own version of Coupling, and it absolutely just sucked. And it was just so funny because it was like, how many times can you carbon copy something and try to, you know what I mean? It was like, Coupling was an imitation of Friends, and you guys are trying to copy from them? We had the original.
Yeah, but they had the name value. They didn't carry the Friends over, so it gave us the opportunity to re-steal it back.
More money.
How many times can you resave a JPEG until it doesn't look like the original image anymore?
It also so rarely works for us to take a British show and make that happen.
Oh, I know.
Very
There's that show Ghosts. Oh my God. Like there's this British show Ghosts. It's awesome. It's so good. I lasted 5 minutes of the American one that they brought over here. I was like biting my fingers because I was like, they just missed everything that's magic about
every ounce of charm out of it.
Every ounce of charm, just completely missed the point of the show. And I was like, God damn it, America. God. The Office is the only one that did it and then did it better and made it its own thing. You know what I mean? Like The Office is one where I love the British Office, and the American Office is its own world. It just becomes its own entity. But man, oh man, when we try to take things from England that have such a specific tone to them and Americanize them, we blow it. We just miss it,
Outside of The Office or like competition reality, I guess we can
totally
do okay.
Oh yeah.
Although the American Taskmaster wasn't any good either, and that was even with the guy from Taskmaster. So
all right, fellas, what do you say we get into the music side of this? There's not a whole lot of music. We're not going to play anything from the soundtrack. We're going to focus on the fictional band Citizen Dick.
One of the best bands.
Yeah, I love the name. Fantastic name.
Yep.
The members of the band are Matt Dillon, He's the leader of the group. And then he's flanked by 3 members of Pearl Jam.
Which is the best.
It's so fucking cool. It's so cool. We have Eddie Vedder, Stone Gossard, and Jeff Ament, which is awesome. It's so fucking cool that Pearl Jam is in so much of the movie, just hanging out in the background, essentially. It's very cool.
And Eddie plays the drummer.
Yeah, Eddie plays the drummer.
It's the drummer. And this is what's so fun is, guys, when I saw that in the theater, we were all so like, no way! Because it was like you'd seen the music video on MTV, you'd seen the cut to the whether it's Matt Pinfield or somebody's talking to the members of Pearl Jam, and then you get to these scenes and you're like, is that Eddie Vedder he's at the table? He's in the band? What? And it was just such a phenomenon. We were just blown away by that experience of seeing these like super cool rock and rollers in this movie.
I mean, it's still so fucking cool.
It's so cool. Yeah. And they're kind of they kind of give comedic performances without even trying. Like they do such a good job of just kind of being awkwardly silent with him. So it's like the perfect marriage of his just bombastic personality, and they just their kind of looks and low key reactions are just chef's kiss.
Yeah. And it also, like, this goes to like evidence the whole Seattle scene thing. How these bands didn't exist in like silos. Like Pearl Jam covered Mudhoney songs, Nirvana also inspired by Mudhoney. I guess it all goes back to Mudhoney. But
yeah.
But like these guys all hung out. They all knew each other. They all played each other's songs. And like, so sure, yeah, Eddie could play drums. I bet a lot of those folks could play drums. I mean, one of the most famous drummers of that time became one of the most famous band leaders of our
Dave
time.
Grohl.
Dave Grohl, yeah. I think it was a training ground. A rock star boot camp.
They were all going to each other's shows and jamming, and there's just tons of like there during that time before it becomes global. It's just a town with people who like this specific sound, right? Like distorted guitars. We write about what it means to feel depressed because the sun never shines up here. My dad worked a ridiculous amount of hours and smoked cigarettes and hit me. I mean, it was just like that was their scene. That's what they did, Right. And Chris Poncier's wardrobe was Jeff Ament's real clothes.
I saw that's
real
awesome.
Clothes. They were like, yeah, just Jeff's real wardrobe will be Matt Dillon's wardrobe. So great.
Authentic, man.
Be a weird feeling.
Yeah, right.
Like I would feel weirder seeing my clothes on screen than I would like seeing myself. I think. Like seeing my clothes on someone else as if they were a character. Of their own.
I hope Matt Dillon was a very character actor about it and was like, I insist on his underwear as well.
Yeah. Give me the undies, man.
I want Jeff Ament's undies.
I need them. Don't wash them.
No, I want my balls to smell like Ament balls.
I need it. Ugh. So before we start playing any clips from Citizen Dick, because there are a few and we do get a song, but to me it seems so there's a poster in Bridget Fonda's apartment on her fridge that says that Citizen Dick is playing with the Blue Oyster Cult, and I feel like you got to be a pretty big deal to play with the Blue Oyster Cult.
You got to be pretty big deal at that time to have gotten on a show with the Blue Oyster Cult.
But the little samplings that we get don't necessarily line up with that kind of success.
No.
So I found that to be pretty humorous.
It was very funny. It makes me wonder if that was Cameron Crowe's idea or if somebody was just sitting there and they were like they're young enough in their career that there is a little bit of room to fuck around. And so they probably, somebody put Blue Oyster Cult and everybody would be like, I don't think Citizen Dick's going to be playing a show with Blue Oyster Cult. And then they were like, but that's great. That's great. It adds to the kind of weird mystique of this band.
Or is that an in-universe thing? Or is that somebody in Seattle in Citizen Dick was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny, a poster where we're opening for Blue Oyster Cult?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if Chris is already making, like the art for his own tapes, I guess it would make sense that he's making fictional posters because he's also printing shirts in his apartment too.
Yeah.
So he has a printer. I didn't even think of that.
He's a screen printer. Yeah, that's how he's introduced.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So that poster might be fake.
It probably is fake.
Like I'm dreaming of this.
He's
I'm
manifesting it. Yes, there it is. Yeah. Oh man, look at that. We're figuring this out here.
I love it. He's manifesting so that everybody who would come over, he's so self-indulgent and into himself that he would go, hell yeah, yeah. You look at this. We're going to open for Blue Oyster Cult.
Exactly, because they're huge in Belgium.
Yeah, totally. That's great.
Oh man. Had you ever thought about this, Jacob?
Never. That had never occurred to me once. This is such
awesome.
This is why I have friends like you, because there are people in your life that will look at a poster in a scene and start to question why. I have never once thought about the Blue Oyster Cult poster in that scene and been like, huh. But now that you pointed out to me, I'm like, it should have been something I thought about. But that's why you're my
Shawn's
friend, buddy.
Thing though. Like, this is your specialty, is like going through and finding all the little written pieces. Like, if Chris Cornell hadn't written those songs and you had gleaned that cassette tape instead, you might have. Like,
oh, no, I didn't.
But no, I think you're right, Dustin.
But like, that's your like, you laser focus on like all this art department stuff.
That's his specialty. That's his gift. That's why he's the Sandlerverse guy, because nobody else. He literally turned it into a phenomenon. I don't know how many movies I've seen, and I don't give two thoughts about something like that. But Shawn will say something to me, and I'll be like, huh, wow, what?
I'm just trained for that because of the Sandlerverse stuff.
You
So
are.
yeah, I'm hyper focused on the extra little bits of the universes.
You really
Shawn,
are.
Shawn, it'll forever bum me out that you're not a big Simpsons guy, because they have the best little blink if you miss it background written jokes.
Oh, I bet there's a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a life journey with the amount of Simpsons there is, right? Like somebody who does that would probably do nothing else ever for the rest of their life.
Yeah, you could study that as your career.
Well, listen, the beautiful thing is that I don't need to study it because it was already in Sandlerverse 2. It was on the ceiling. We're good to go. I'm out.
Yep. You're out. You're done.
Okay, so now, listeners, I know you're salivating for these little morsels of music. So here's a phone message that Cliff leaves, and he sings in it. So enjoy this.
I'm walking down the avenue, ho, 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 ho. And I'm looking at the garbage cans, ho, 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 ho. I'm laughing at the people I see. Something like that. I mean, I'm just playing with the lyrics right now. None of that stuff is set in stone.
So this is reminiscent of Frank, right?
The movie Frank.
The movie Frank. Jacob, have you seen the movie Frank?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen Frank. But is that the one? Is that the one with the head?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I knew what you were talking about, but I remember it's the person who wears the head their whole life, right? Yeah. So this connects to that?
Well, to me, it seems a little similar because the opening of that movie
the
is
whole voice message thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Dalmo Gleason just like walking through the town, just singing like, "Lady with the red coat, where you going with that bag?"
It's that thing that only like this kind of recording is, that's so vulnerable.
Yes.
It's just you,
stream of
idea,
consciousness.
No way to even like check your pitch or anything. Totally. It's the same. They do the same thing. I don't think they use the device of it being a recorded message in Frank, but
no,
it's
but
just
like
kind
the
of omniscient voiceover. But yeah, same exact
songwriting sort of process of just like these are the things that I'm seeing. Let's try to find a melody for those things. Like that process of writing a song.
Yes.
Yeah, that's spot on by saying it's vulnerable. I can't even imagine. So I've done this before when I'm writing music, writing songs. I'll be in my car and I'll have a melody and I'll open up my phone and I'll record myself. And you think, oh, I'm on to something. And then you'll listen to it later and you'll be like, oh my God, that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life or whatever. And I would die I would die if somebody heard those really basic ideas, because you're like, this is for me only. Like I know what I'm doing here. But nobody else gets privy to shitty singing in my car and think I'm serious, you know?
This is a tool. This is not art yet.
Yes.
Give me some time. But
give me some time. I will make it sound great. The other thing that I think is interesting about hearing this audio clip is, I think, this is just my opinion, I think that Matt Dillon is kind of tipping the hat to Andy Wood, lead singer of Mother Love Bone, who dies right around this time. Those who's, that's very Andy Wood, the theatricality of his vocal style with the, like the Chloe don't know better. He did these like really things. So I feel like when I hear that, Matt Dillon probably in the process of this, if you went and saw Mother Love Bone perform and you saw Andy Wood doing those flourishes, a douche like Chris Pontier would think like, I could do just like that, like and it's so poorly done. But I wonder if in that community they were like, he's doing like a really bad Andy Wood impersonation. I don't know, but that's my guess.
Okay, I can see that.
I mean, you're probably right. Chris Cornell dropped Andy Wood's name in the clip that we played earlier. So like it's all in that scene, and Chris Cornell's hanging out on the set of that movie. He's in the movie. He makes cameos in singles.
And Andy's alive for during some of this time. He's like, I think he dies amongst this timeline of this film coming out, but like he would have been running around with all of them. He would have been hanging out at the clubs and doing stuff. His drug problem was bad, but anyway, so he might have even been around, huh?
A lot of folks had bad drug problems.
All of them, by the way. He was just running rampant at this time.
Yeah, while we're talking about Andy Wood, also the Alice in Chains song "Wood" is sort of a tribute to him as well, and that made its way into the movie. So that tells you how fresh that song was.
So fresh.
Played it in this film. Played it live, by the way.
Yeah.
They refused to play to a track. They were like, we're just going to do it.
And there's this other moment where Alice in Chains, you hear just bits of it, but I'm pretty sure it's the opening riff of It Ain't Like That off of Facelift. You hear them play in the club. I think they're on their way in and out. And it's like right. And Lane Staley has got his hair in these like little tight, like little stringies, and he's just going like this with his head and head banging. And Jerry Cantrell's doing this upstroke of the opening of It Ain't Like That, which wow. And I was like, dude, that's like one of the best songs off of Facelift. So I love that little snippet's in there. I'm right, right? It's in the movie.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so cool getting to see those moments preserved on film like that,
100%.
Because we didn't have a lot of recordings for live club music at all in those days.
Pre-phone, nobody had anything. Nobody's bringing camcorders into these places. You couldn't. They were gigantic, and they wouldn't allow it anyway. And so, the fact that there is a perfect 35 millimeter preservation moment of like, what was it like to be waiting for the bathroom while Alice in Chains is playing? Like, what?
Yeah.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Pearl Jam at some point, they became kind of known for like being preservationist with this stuff. Don't they have like a Grateful Dead level, like,
I think so,
recording every single show?
I think so.
Putting it up on a website or something.
Yeah, I think Eddie Vedder might be a hoarder. I think I mean, honestly, there's been shots of him like showing people around his collection of stuff. So I do think he likes to collect things for sure.
I mean, the difference between a collector and a hoarder is managing it.
That's true. Yeah, and displaying it in a cool way.
Yep.
As soon as you can't handle it, you're a hoarder. Until then, it's a very cool collection.
Yeah.
So we just had a clip of Matt Dillon singing as Cliff. I would like to play a little deleted scene where the Pontier tapes come back into play when the character of David walks up to Cliff playing an acoustic guitar on the street.
Hey, Cliff. What happened to the band?
Oh, man, Stone panicked. The rest of the guys took jobs at Boeing. They didn't get it. They weren't with the program. But I'm solo now. I'm doing some really, really interesting things. That's my latest.
He gives them the tape.
Playing that record in France.
So yeah, that's a little bit more of Cliff's guitar playing there.
I love it. It's so out of tune. It's just the guitar. You can hear like right when he starts playing in the beginning, it sounds like it's okay.
Busking.
And then right before he starts speaking, he does one strum and you go, oh no. Oh.
And he's out there busking with an electric guitar, so you can't hear it 2 feet away.
So great. It's so great. They play that in France.
Yeah.
He plays his character perfectly. So good.
Yeah, he was one of the big highlights of the movie.
I've always loved Matt Dillon. My mom, fun side note, my mom was in The Outsiders.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
My mom was in The Outsiders, and so it was shot in Tulsa, and she was a school teacher, and so she went to this call when they just were wanting real school teachers. Coppola wanted real school teachers. So she had a scene where they showed her teaching, and then in the film it got cut out of the main cut, but 20 or 30 years later, whatever it was, they released an anniversary edition, and you can finally see, I finally saw this shot of my mom in this thing. But the best part is she has a photo of her standing next to Francis Ford Coppola. I have my mom and Francis Ford Coppola, and it looks like they're just hanging out like, well, he was thinking of it. She looks like she's clearly a bigger part of the movie, which she's not. So I don't know if he just like wanted to have sex with my mom or what, but she's like talking with him. And I have that photo, but I bring this up because when I was getting a little bit older, I was like, Mom, you were on a set with all these young stars.
Yeah.
And she's like, they were all little children. The only one that was a star was Matt Dillon.
Whoa.
She said he was the only one who was treated like a celebrity.
Whoa.
Like he had a trailer. He took it very seriously. He was already an established actor. She said the others, they were kids. They were like running around and like having to be corralled to get their shots done because they were like children. And so she was just like Matt Dillon. So I've always known that of like my mom working on that movie. I've always thought of Matt Dillon was just like, he was already like at a very young age, like just took it very seriously. And anyway, I love that about him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Matt Dillon is in a lot of really good, cool stuff, and he's really good and very funny in a lot of it. Dude, he's so fucking good in There's Something About Mary.
Oh, absolutely phenomenal. That was kind of like a nice little return. Like, I feel like we hadn't seen him in a minute, and he was in that, and it was so good to see Matt Dillon in something again.
Like we talked about earlier, it takes a smart actor to play someone dumb.
Yes. Yep.
Well said.
You know, in this, like, and I think Cameron Crowe's great at writing the burnout character because he wrote Fast Times as well. So he has. I mean, that was based on a book, I think, but he has some authorship of the Spicoli character. And again, smart guy playing a dumb guy.
That's true.
Yeah. Sean Penn, wicked
Sean
smart.
Penn.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And growing up being a music fan, everybody has a burnout friend. Everybody's got a friend that's kind of like, behaves that way. That you meet these guys in real life, and they can be a lot of fun. They can be hilarious, and so to write them in a film, it's like you have to. In music scenes and circles, everybody's got a burnout friend.
Yeah, and if you're writing a screenplay based on that, or anything creative based on that, like it's like a randomness generator. It's like, oh, what would they do? I don't know. Let's put it through the filter of the, Spicoli or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so guys, we do get one real full song from Citizen Dick in this movie.
Yes.
And it is called Touch Me, I'm Dick.
Dustin, you mentioned Mudhoney earlier in this episode. That's who's doing this song right now.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. They're doing a parody of the Mudhoney song, Touch Me, I'm Sick.
I'm sick. Yeah.
Touch me, I'm dead.
This song.
Touch me, I'm sick.
Which is very fun.
It's very fun. Mudhoney are great.
They are just one of those, if you're talking about grunge, Like I said, it all leads back to Mudhoney. Everybody in that scene was influenced by this band first.
100%.
Just in case Mudhoney is a new name for you or whatever, I would like to play just one other Mudhoney song just to give the listeners a better example of their sound. I want to play Suck You Dry because this song is like a roller coaster in my head. It starts off with the tambourine and it's, like going up the hill on the roller coaster, but then the full band kicks in and you're like in that free fall, but then it speeds back up and you hit like that first like bend and you're like pulling G's around a left-hand turn and then it goes back and then it speeds back up again. The whole thing is so fucking cool and fun.
Absolutely.
Do you see what I mean with that? Like, you're like going around a corner like crazy. It's so cool.
Man, isn't that what makes grunge what it is? It's like they took the punk stuff and then they took the metal stuff and they went, what if it was one thing?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Alice in Chains famously early on, like if you listen to Facelift, you're like, this is actually it's a metal album, really. And and Soundgarden was metal. You're hearing in their early days, you're like, these are heavy metal bands. All they did was they just focused a little less on speed. And then the vocals were so much more vulnerable and kind of emotive and
melodic.
Melodic vocalists and singing about what they're going through and their feelings. So it just takes a splinter left from metal. And then once Pearl Jam kind of brings in more of the bluesy rock elements, Southern rock and those elements to it, it kind of becomes a thing. And the only way, absolutely. That's what it is. It's metal that just kind of diverges and punk that kind of diverges and makes this amalgamation that is quote unquote grunge.
I'm glad that the baby was made.
Yes, me too. It's given me an entire online career.
It certainly has. Yeah.
Thank you, grunge.
Now, so like, at some point in the research for this, I was reading basically the Stooges were cited as a big influence for bands like Mudhoney.
Oh, I can totally see
get
that.
I've never
100%.
thought about that before, but that makes something make sense to me that I was always confused by ever since we did Velvet Goldmine, because they wrote Ewan McGregor's character is sort of half Stooges, half Nirvana, half Kurt Cobain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was always like, what's that connection? And I feel like maybe Mudhoney is the link in that chain that gets us from to Seattle.
Yeah.
That's a great connection. Definitely.
This is one of the best podcasts for random connections on the fly.
Yeah, I know.
This episode's been pretty good for that.
I love it.
We should do more in conversation.
Yeah. I guess we should. Jacob, you're coming on all the time, buddy.
No problem. I got nothing but time.
Yes. Yeah, you of all people, one of the busiest human beings that I know.
But I love being here and I love talking about this film and this music stuff. And these kind of conversations are my favorite, just your guys' perspectives on it has been really fun.
Oh man, well it's been an absolute thrill having you here, and now that we're wrapping up the episode, I'm going to ask both of you a question. It's the typical K-Flix question.
Okay.
If the band Citizen Dick were real in our reality producing music, would you listen to them?
That recording was terrible. But I think he intentionally, here's the funny thing, is like Touch Me, I'm Sick sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell that when they're doing Touch Me, I'm Dick, he's intentionally like, make it sound not as great. Right?
Yes,
like
absolutely.
vocally make it sound like Chris Pontier is just completely unhinged and doesn't know what he's doing. And everybody else in the band is fine, but he's not. And so it's funny because when you hear that song, you're like, oh, that's terrible. But who knows, for nostalgic reasons now, if somebody was to be like, oh man, did you ever get into Citizen Dick? I'd be like, oh, you know what? Let me turn it on. And it might remind me of a time.
Oh.
And I might be like, you know what? This takes me back to when, somebody was showing me this band or that band. It would remind me of that time. And certain things there are songs that back then I did not enjoy, but now when I hear them, they take me back. So I do enjoy them more.
I have some of that too, actually, of hearing stuff when I was in my youth and being like,
Not for me.
But now I'm like, oh, you know what? Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going through that. I feel like I've been going through that in the past few weeks with Alice in Chains. I'm finally appreciating them in a way I never did before.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. One of the greats.
Yeah. Quick thing I want to bring up that I read, and it could be wrong. I don't have this verified, but I want to see what you guys know. Does Eddie Vedder provide the vocals for "Touch Me, I'm Dick"?
I don't know. I thought it was
I know
either
it's a Mudhoney
me,
song.
Yeah, it either was the Mudhoney singer fucking around, or they got Matt Dillon to yell on a microphone for fun. I don't know, but if it was Vedder, I'd be surprised.
I read that Eddie Vedder supplied the vocals for Cliff.
Wow, that would be interesting. Now I want to listen to it like very, very like. Can I hear a Vedder bellowing yell cry?
Right. Can we pick it out? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in town, yeah.
Ah.
Little Elvis, come on. Touch me, I'm there.
I mean, I could see that.
A little bit. I could see it. It could be there's a little bit of his intonation of speaking voice when I hear the words more spoken out, that I'm like, that doesn't sound much like him. But this is young Eddie Vedder. This is young. So this is before he really if you're screwing around on a microphone in a studio and they're like, just scream it. Well, he absolutely, that scream does sound a lot like Eddie Vedder when he screams.
Yeah.
But it was the speaking part that kind of threw me a little bit. But that might be a fact that I just learned here on the show. If that's Vedder doing it, I did not know that.
It's, I mean, to be clear, this is from an IMDb like trivia thing. I don't have like a scholarly article,
right,
or a historical piece.
Yeah, okay.
It interested me enough that I'm like, I want to see.
That's cool.
If you guys have heard that,
it definitely sounds like it could be.
Yeah, it sounds like if anybody was gonna do it, you know what I mean? If he's constantly around in production and they're working, and Ament is doing the production design, and they've got this great vocalist here. Yeah. It's not like they went and said, hey, let's go grab Mudhoney and have them re-record their own song. They probably just jammed the cover and said, let's mess around with it a little bit. And this will be funny. And Mudhoney was like, yeah, you can do that. That's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't change everything, but it's a different perspective slightly.
I'm forgetting his name, but one of the main guys, there's also a cameo of Tad in the movie. And he's like the guy in the chair. Tad was another Seattle grunge band, TAD. And he's like the dude with long hair who's in the chair. I think it's on the phone. It's like just a really quick shot. And that's a cameo of him as well. So that's another good grunge cameo. Yeah.
Nice. So many actors in this. I mean, like, I didn't even talk about how awesome it is that Tom Skerritt was in this earlier, but I fucking love Tom Skerritt, and that's so cool. But yeah, tons of band cameos, musician cameos. This movie is just littered with that kind of stuff. And it's so cool. What a beautiful time capsule.
Love it.
Indeed. Sorry, didn't mean to derail us, Shawn.
No, I love it. That was a cool one, because that was something, and people might be shocked and be like, you should know that, Jacob. There's been 20 books written about this movie or whatever, but I haven't read them. I mean, I'm a fan, but I'm not a person who really has to get to know all the details about something that I really enjoy. And again, like I told your audience, the soundtrack it reigns supreme. This is literally, Smashing Pumpkins is my favorite band of all time, and it is because of this soundtrack. Because when I first heard Drown, that melted my face off. It's that is probably my second favorite Pumpkin song of all time. And
by the way, I love your band's cover of it.
Why, thank you. And a lot of people don't know. Because the radio version and what most people heard doesn't have the long feedback solo at the end of it. But the one on the soundtrack has this long instrumental break where just feedback and squeals. And a lot of people were turned off by that. I loved it. to me, I always described it as like whale song. It was like electric guitar whale song.
Yeah.
And there was something very hypnotic about it. I never skipped it. And that was the entry point where I was like, I think this might be my favorite band I've ever heard in my life. And it was that song. And then Siamese Dream would come out, just a short while in 93 later. And I remember waiting for that album to release because of Drown. I was like, this is the song. So anyway, could not finish this episode without raving about how much that song and that means to me.
I love that. And by the way, listeners, Jacob's band is called Temple of the Dads. They're a 90s cover band. I've seen them almost as many times, if not more times, than I've seen Middle Aged Dad Jam Band, another cover band. So I just love cover bands.
Loves cover bands. No, Shawn has been to a lot of our shows, and we love having him there.
But Dustin, please answer the normal question. Would you listen to Citizen Dick?
Oh, man. I would try. Yes. I mean, dude, these are the hardest episodes
when we get such a small
so
sample
little to go from. My mind is open to it, is all I can say on this one. I can't make a definitive one way or the other at this point.
The beautiful thing about answering that question for this specific episode is when it is a band that does exist in our reality. If you like the sound at all of what we played for Touch Me, I'm Dick, then you can enjoy that sort of sound with Mudhoney.
Yes.
Closer than ever with Touch Me, I'm Sick. It's almost the same song.
Yes, it's very, very close. So awesome. If you want more Mudhoney, please get that in your ear holes. And next week we're gonna have another real band portraying a fictional band. We're finally gonna cover Eddie and the Cruisers.
Ooh, very excited for that one.
Jacob, have you seen Eddie and the Cruisers?
I think way back when it came out, I feel like some time ago. I don't think I've seen Eddie and the Cruisers in a very, very long time.
Dustin and I have never seen Eddie and the Cruisers, so this will be our first time watching both movies because there is a follow-up sequel.
I didn't know there was a sequel. The trailer for Eddie and the Cruisers was almost left more of an impression. So I'm vague on remembering, did I ever actually see the film? But it was one of those trailers that every movie you rented for a season, that movie was on the VHS tape. And so you'd see this trailer over and over and over again for Eddie and the Cruisers. So now I don't know if I have seen it. You have to tell me if it's good.
If you like Bruce Springsteen, I think you're gonna like Eddie and the Cruisers from my limited knowledge of it.
Seems to be the case, yes.
Yeah. And if you had fun this week, dear listeners, please give us a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you're currently listening to this on. And if it happens to be YouTube, give us a like and subscribe.
And you can find us online at fictionradiopod.com and email us at fictionradiopod@gmail.com.
We'll see you next week for Eddie and the Cruisers. And Jacob, thank you so much for coming on. You can follow Jacob on Instagram. Jacob, what's your handle?
At Jacob Givens.
Is that the same for TikTok as well?
No, on TikTok it's the Jacob Givens, and that's just because somebody else got Jacob Givens first.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Oh, that scoundrel. And also check out Jacob's fantastic podcast, Waterproof Records. And if you are in the Los Angeles area, stay tuned for more Temple of the Dad shows. You gotta see these guys shred, man. It's so fucking good.
Thanks, Shawn. Thanks, Dustin. I had a blast. This was awesome. Thanks for having me on.
All right, see you next week, listeners.
Watching movies and jamming out. K-Flix 198.4 Fiction Radio.